The Vanishing Violinist. I never hurry on Thursday nights. That's my small routine. Leave the print shop at 7, walk 2 blocks to Luna Bean Cafe, order a paper cup of jasmine green tea, then wander home while it cools. The city is safe enough in spring, when dusk lingers and the air smells of wet pavement and lilac blossoms from the public planters. I keep one earbud in, half listening to a podcast about old coins, half listening to the street itself. Footsteps, bicycle bells, the faint rattle of the elevated train. That evening, the first odd thing was the silence. Not complete, just thinned out, like someone had turned the city's volume knob down a few notches. Cars still rolled past, but their engines felt far away, as though cushioned by snow. Even the pigeons scratching near the convenience store fluttered without sound. I thought my podcast had paused, but when I tapped my phone, the episode kept playing. My other ear was the one that had gone still. At the corner of Melrose and Gable, I saw him. A violinist, mid-30s maybe, coat too long for the mild weather, head bowed. He stood under the broken street lamp, where the concrete darkens from years of dripping rust. No case on the ground, no sign asking for change. Just him, the violin, and a melody that wrapped around itself the way smoke curls back toward wood. It wasn't pleasant or showy. It was simple, 3 notes climbing, 1 falling, repeated with slight hesitations, as if he kept forgetting the next bar. 2 college kids in hoodies were already there, drawn in like moths. One held a skateboard, balancing it on 2 fingers. The other wore headphones around his neck, the padding blinking neon blue. They didn't speak, didn't throw coins. They just stood a yard apart, staring straight ahead, breathing in time with the bow strokes. I slowed but didn't stop. The tea warmed my palm. The violinist's shoes were wrong. Leather dress, shoes polished to a ballroom shine, out of place against graffiti and gum stains. When I reached my building, a sour note rose behind me. I almost looked back. Almost, but the key card reader beeped and the lobby lights snapped on and the elevator chimed a too cheerful tone. Home felt normal. Socks on the radiator, faint smell of last night's takeout, neighbor's TV murmuring through the wall. Still, I couldn't shake the quiet around my left ear like water after diving. I told myself street acoustics are weird, that's all. Friday morning, someone had left a skateboard in the bus shelter outside Luna Bean. No kid, just the board, wheels still spinning a fraction. I recognized the stickers, flame decals, a chipped cartoon skull. The deck leaned perfectly upright against the glass, balanced the way no one actually leaves a board. A blue padded headphone set lay next to it, pulsing light dead, battery emptied overnight. My tea order tasted bitter. I watched the bus driver pick up the board, look around, shrug, then prop it inside the lost and found slot behind his seat. Everyone kept scrolling their phones. A little girl near me hummed 3 climbing notes, 1 falling under her breath. When she noticed me looking, she stopped and zipped her coat. Work blurred. Copier jams, toner stains, the usual. Around 4, my manager asked if I'd heard the weird rumor about people vanishing near Melrose. I laughed too loud and said urban legend spread fast. But I searched anyway. No news articles, just a forum thread. Instruments showing up with no owners. Anyone else see this? A link to a photo. An empty park bench holding 3 harmonicas. Another photo. A silver trumpet standing bell down on cracked asphalt like someone planted it there. I told myself the internet loves patterns. I told myself kids ditch gear all the time. Yet going home, my steps slowed on autopilot. The air again felt padded. A low hum of only 3 notes reached me blocks before I saw him. Same man, same lamp, same dusty coat. Tonight, 5 listeners, a bike courier, 2 office. Women, a man in scrubs, and an elderly tourist clutching a guidebook. They stood in a semicircle, perfect spacing, as if placed by tape marks. No one blinked. I hovered at the opposite curb, pulse stuttering. The violinist's face was angled down. Dark hair draped his cheek, but I saw his eyelids didn't move. I tried a half wave to the courier. No reaction. A bus roared past between us, filling the air with diesel roar. When it cleared, the melody carried on without missing a beat. My building's front door felt heavier. Inside my apartment, I set the tea down untouched, then opened the window a crack. The melody faintly threaded through traffic like a secret little wire straight to my spine. I closed the window and stuffed towels along the frame. Still it seeped in, slipped thin. I found myself pacing the hall, counting 3 notes up, 1 down. Again, no rest. Somewhere past midnight, I woke on the couch, not remembering falling asleep. Silence, blessed, complete, pressed the apartment. I almost smiled. Then came a single scrape from the hallway outside my door, metal on tile, low and slow. I froze, breath shallow. Another scrape, lighter this time like a chair leg dragging. Then a soft tap-tap, wood knocking lightly against metal. I crept to the peephole. Nothing. Just the empty corridor lit by motion sensor lights that should have gone dark but stayed weakly glowing. On the floor lay a violin bow. I didn't open the door. I backed away like it might hear me. Like it mattered. My hand hovered over the lock, fingers trembling, not from cold. I grabbed my phone, opened the camera, and pressed it against the peephole to zoom in. It was a violin bow, wood dark as mahogany, hair slack but intact. No case, no note. Just placed perfectly parallel to my doormat like an offering. Or a warning. I didn't sleep. Every creak of the building sounded sharper. The fridge's hum, normally just background noise, started pulsing in sync with that same 4-note rhythm. I turned it off at the breaker. The silence didn't help. At dawn, I finally opened the door. The bow was gone. Only a thin stripe of dustless floor remained, a perfect outline where it had rested. I wiped it away with my sock. Later that day, I found out the violinist had been spotted on the Green Line platform, underground this time. A friend messaged me a blurry photo, said, "Look familiar?" Same man, same coat, same bout head, no case. 2 cops talking to a transit worker in the background, and a flute just sitting on the bench beside a plastic shopping bag. I started avoiding that part of town, changed my route, canceled a few shifts, but the melody followed, not through speakers, through people. A woman at the laundromat hummed it while folding towels. A guy walking his dog whistled a warped version as he crossed the street. It got into things, the squeak of my faucet, the beeps of my microwave, always climbing 3 notes, then 1 falling. One morning, on the way to grab groceries, I passed a man playing guitar outside the deli. Noam, noti phar. I looked straight at him. He wasn't moving. His hands rested on the guitar, neck like a still photograph. His eyes were closed. A woman stood a few feet away, watching him the way someone watches fire. Not comforted, but hypnotized. I didn't stay. Back home, I threw every music-playing thing into a box. Radio, Bluetooth speaker, even my old wind-up music box for childhood. I duct-taped the box shut, shoved it in the back of the closet, and buried it in sweaters. Didn't matter. The next day, someone left a cello against a tree outside my building. Just the cello. No one nearby. It leaned at an angle that shouldn't have held. I stared at it too long. I don't even like cellos, but something about it felt familiar, like I'd seen it before in a dream or someone else's memory. By now, I couldn't tell what was real. I started filming things just to prove to myself they happened. But when I played the videos back, there was never any sound. Not just missing the melody, no footsteps, no voices, no wind. Just mute film, like the city had stopped breathing. The only sound that remained was the one I couldn't delete. In my head, the 4-note loop started to distort, slower, warped like it was being played underwater. It crept into my thoughts, stretched across conversations, bleeding into everything. I remember trying to explain this to my neighbor, Angie. She just smiled, nodded too much, then asked if I'd heard that haunting violinist guy on 5th and Holland. I told her not to go. She went anyway. That night her cat sat outside my door, meowing for 2 hours. She didn't come back. There was a tambourine left on her welcome mat. The building manager sent a notice the next day, said Angie had moved out. That was it. No boxes, no truc. Just the note. And the tambourine. I didn't go to work after that. Didn't sleep much either. I started scribbling the melody on napkins, bills, the backs of receipts, little notations I didn't know I knew. Treble clefs. Time signatures. I don't read music. Never have. But my hands moved like they did. The violinist showed up again last week. I saw him from my kitchen window. He stood under the flickering crosswalk sign near the bus stop. Two kids and an old man watched him play. I couldn't hear the music, but I felt it, like pressure in my chest. Then, without meaning to, I found myself humming along. 3 notes up, 1 down, over and over. I think I understand now. He's not performing. He's not collecting fans. He's conducting. And every listener becomes part of the song. I haven't opened my door in 3 days. There's a new violin case outside it now. Black, matte, no tags. Sometimes I hear it click open. Sometimes I dream I'm playing. I tried throwing the violin case away. Waited until 2 a.m. when even the street dogs go quiet. Wore gloves. Didn't touch the latch. Just grabbed it by the handle and walked it 4 blocks to a dumpster behind the old electronics shop. I didn't run. I walked calmly. Like if I acted natural, it would all stay natural. But when I turned back toward home, I heard it. Not behind me, under me, a low vibration like something strumming inside the concrete. By the time I reached my building, the case was back. Same spot, same angle, but now it was open. Nothing inside, just a slip of parchment where velvet should have been. 4 notes drawn in trembling black ink, and a single sentence beneath them. You already know the tune. I left it untouched. Sat by the door all night, holding a kitchen knife in one hand, a wooden spoon in the other. Don't ask why. Maybe it felt balanced. Maybe I was losing it. Morning came, and I told myself it was over. That people move on. That I'd just ignore it long enough, and it would unstick itself from my life. But 2 days ago, I passed a bar downtown. The door was open. Music spilled out. Live, messy jazz. Saxophone crying through smoke and chatter. For a moment, I felt human again. Anchored. So I stepped inside. It only took 1 second. A single violin joined in. Soft in the background, almost polite. I froze in the doorway. The band didn't notice. They played on. No one looked at the violinist. I couldn't even see one on stage. But the notes were there, slipping through the chords. A slow, haunting 4-note loop stitched into the chaos. I left. Not rushed. Not screaming. Just walked back outside, hands cold, throat tight. That night, I found a sheet of music under my pillow. Blank staff lines. No notes. But every time I blinked, something shifted. Like the notes were there, just waiting for me to notice them. Yesterday, I smashed my own windows just to let real city sounds in. Sirens, yelling, dogs barking. Anything but that melody. Still, I heard it. Even now, I think it's leaking into my thoughts again. I've stopped drinking tea. I unplugged the fridge. I sleep with cotton in my ears and white noise, blasting from 3 old phones. And yet, it's clearer than ever. 3 up, 1 down, over and over like breath, like a heartbeat. Sometimes I wonder, what happens if I finish the song? If I let it play through to whatever comes next? Would it end? Will I disappear like the others? There's a cello in the alley now. I don't know where it came from, but I swear, it's in tune.